The open-ended nature of virtual pet games is both their greatest strength and their greatest weakness. When you're intimately familiar with one of these games, it's easy to know how to navigate the game and what to do on a daily basis. But when you're a new user, this could impede your ability to get into the game, as you don't even know where to begin with the endless features that influence the game in indeterminable ways. When I start a new game, here's usually my cycle of play. I start the game, I get overwhelmed by the features, I ask people on the forums or on Twitter, how do I play this? And they give me a vague example of what they do on a regular basis. So I start reading guides, forum posts, I watch some videos on YouTube, and I try to start drawing the connections between the features. I make a video about it. People leave comments telling me how wrong my video is, so I go back to the game, try to hammer it out a little bit more, and when I finally have a good grasp on it, I move on to the next game. This is such a complex process. It's actually one of the biggest challenges for me to play games. It's the entire process of learning a new game. Sometimes on this channel, we discuss solution-based design. When you think of user experience design, you probably think of designing an entire environment, an app from start to finish. But I think one of the best ways to use design is to solve problems in already existing ecosystems. Let's focus today on Marapets' incredible and unexpected approach to this problem of starting a new game. The challenge is, there's so many features here, I don't know how they work, I don't know how to start. To make sure you know how to address the problem in a way that's beneficial for the players, you have to know who your player segments are, what that audience looks like. So the first audience group would be new users who are young adults, probably teenagers through their early 20s. So I would say like mid-teens through early 20s, very tech savvy, play a lot of games like this, and they dabble in a little bit of everything, so they need to be able to pick up on something quickly. And then the second group would be adults, probably mid-20s to early 30s, who've been playing Marapets for years, maybe 13 years in some instances, who don't need as strong visual cues because they're so familiar with the website. It's important to know what these audiences look like so you know what the benefits from engaging them are and the risks of losing them if you don't solve the problem. The new user, the risk is that if it takes too long for them to learn a new game, they'll give up on it and move on to the next thing and never give your game a second chance, writing it off as poorly designed, convoluted, and outdated. The returning player, the risk with them is that they may have learned how to play the game so long ago that when they misused features, they wrote off those features as unimportant and never correctly learned how to play the game. So you risk having an ill-informed player who returns to the game consistently and is missing out of key aspects of the game. You can engage the new users and show them that this game is accessible, it's easy to learn, and that you're going to reward them for doing it, which gives them a good starting point in the game. And the returning users, you show them how to properly play the game, and if they already know how to do it, then great, they get rewarded for doing it, and they get to show off their savvy with some kind of trophy or the sort. Marapets' solution that addresses these very real risks and challenges to the question, how can Marapets teach users how to play the game, was rolling out a system that shows your level of progress in the game as you walk through steps according to a guide with objectives that show you how to play the game, and you're rewarded at the top of each level. As far as the actual setup of this completion, of this achievement, of this goal system, the objectives are clearly laid out. There's a goal that's described with text and, when necessary, visual diagrams. It's really straightforward what it expects from you, and there are links to the pages as well as an explanation of how it all works together. The items are categorized by theme, so you're going to be doing things that are related to one another, building that association so you understand how the game works. And when you've completed all of the objectives, you immediately proceed to the next level and the prize is immediately rewarded. There's no checking in, there's no clicking on unnecessary boxes, it's all immediate. That being said, while I was going through it, I ran into some room for improvement. For instance, the website isn't pixeled in a way that it tracks the progress for possibly activities you did before you reached this level. So in level 1, it had you do free-to-play games, but when you're in level 2, if you've already done the free-to-play game for the day, it will want you continue. So it's going to take more time for me to go through it. So it's definitely going to take time to complete, and that can be frustrating to someone who just wants to master the game in a night. These type of games take a long time to master, so, I understand that it's not the biggest thing in the world to complete it all immediately, and it actually could be a design strength that it takes time to complete it. This is visually placed on the top right of the screen, meaning that it's going to load on every page. A user is going to see their progress in leveling up on the site every time they load the page, and it's associated with the important information that's on the top right of the page. Marapets, like other games, has a complex economy simulation, and it has the currency for the user on hand listed in the upper right of the page. So while a user is going through the site, this is directly where they would be looking to keep an eye on things as random events occur as they go throughout the site. The icons in this setup are a progress bar and a shield. We've become conditioned to associate shields with achievements through games and other apps that try to gamify the experience of completion in a game. So it's natural to see this, and you can almost make the association of what it is just by looking at it. In the progress bar, humans can be completionists, and when you see a progress bar, you want to fill it. This design is great. It really conveys what's going on here, and it puts the control in your hands. A new user would find this progress bar and this shield while they're clicking through the navigation and trying to figure out what's going on with the site, and a new returning user would detect it immediately because of its placement below the currency. I think that this is an incredible feature that Marapets implemented. This is so wonderful. It doesn't speak down to the user. On Neopets, when you start a new account, there's this tutorial that talks to you as though you're a child, because the audience it was built for were for children, while the user base on Neopets may not actively reflect that. And this rewards users for possibly doing things they'd already do. Every game that I play could benefit from this exact design. If Leyden implemented this tomorrow, it would be game changing. It would be a game changer if Leyden did this. Marapets just had their 13th birthday, and I think this was such a wonderful thing for them to do. It was so smart. I can't say that enough, how incredibly well put together this is. It was launched the same time they launched their new logo, which is very cute, and I think that this was a wonderful step in a great direction. I've given Marapets a lot of frack for comedic value lately, and I don't want you to get the opinion that I don't think critically about this game. I think the fact that it is 13 years old in such a competitive market says a lot about it, and I think that this is a wonderful contribution to the virtual pet library of options. This goal system is so great, and I hope you enjoyed this case study. I would love if I could hear from Marapets how this changes the retention of new users. I hope it does wonders for them, and I bet the numbers are really compelling. And it would be wonderful if games like Flight Rising and Leyden rolled something like this out. Flight Rising is a much simpler game. There's not so much going on, but Leyden and Neopets could really benefit from something like this. Thanks.